So, welcome back to part 2 of eating the mushrooms that I grow out of trash. For some reason, the mushrooms only grew on the outside. This one's looking real nice, boys. It bruises blue, if you know what that means, but... I mean, like... There it is.
Man, what's good with the collective? Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who been tapping in, running up, and subbing up. If you new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps collective grow, helps collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate y'all, man. Even if you haven't subbed up and you watching on your TV or whatever the case is, I wish it was smooth 7. Might be a trigger warning or 2. I hope not. Man, I love y'all collective for real, for real. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all know what it is. Let's get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
¿Qué cosa? Para la cara, mucha.
Is La Llorona real? I'm gonna play this full video of what seems like a family encountering her.
¿Qué cosa? Para la cara, mucha. Mucha. Mucha, mucha. Mucha, ya viene. Ay, ay. Mucha. Mucha, mucha, miren. A la bestia. Mucha. Ay, 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 ay. ¿Qué está en el barro? Miren, ve. La hielera, mucha. Mucha. Agarren la nena.
Now, if you don't know the legend of her, it's a pretty creepy one. There's different variations of the story, but typically it involves a woman that tragically drowns her children. She then regrets her actions and goes to drown herself. She is said to curse or haunt large bodies of waters, and if you hear her crying, you should not go towards the water. And it's said that she typically comes after young children. So what do you think? Did this family encounter her? Let me know in the comments below.
Let's talk about it.
I think they did encounter her. What y'all think? I mean, them screams sound really real to me. First time I heard about that, La Llorona was not, and it wasn't referred to by that name. I was in elementary school, and it was referred to as the water witch. That's what I remember. And they say anytime you're around water, they didn't say large bodies of water. They said water. And these is from kids that I went to school with that literally had just came back from Mexico. And not from just traveling like, oh, we just traveling for the summer. Like, no, they were like family from there. Like, they were a couple generations in United States. Like, a couple generations ago, they were in Mexico. So, yeah, that, I don't know. Y'all let me know, man. We starting off with a bang. Because the very first clip even was like, what? Bro. I hope that ain't what I think it is. I hope that was just a fight and dudes getting his ass whooped so he start biting instead of some zombie shit. Cause I ain't prepared for that, bro. Y'all let me know your thoughts.
About the reptilians. Reptilians are an extraterrestrial race, interdimensional beings who originate from the Draco constellation, often referred to as the Draconian Empire. These beings are cold, calculated, and obsessed with control. Unlike the Anunnaki Elohim, who evolved through light and higher consciousness, the reptilians evolved through domination, war, and survival of the strongest. They are masters of shapeshifting, mind control, and energetic manipulation. They feed off fear, division, chaos, and lower vibrational energy. Reptilians first came to Earth over 400,000 years ago, during the early stages of humanity's creation. They infiltrated during the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, working behind the scenes to corrupt divine DNA and suppress human evolution. They secretly made deals with certain Anunnaki factions who chose power over purpose. The fall of Anunnaki helped them infiltrate governments, religious systems, and elite bloodlines that control the world today.
Was Mystique from X-Men, was she in Reptilian?
Bumbleclot, what watch a mermaid, a sword, one. She come on. Blood. Alive, Jesus Christ. I wish you gone. Jesus. Me can't.
I know I've posted this video before, but now I can actually add some context to it. And this is a video supposedly taken at the same location. Or no, clear.
Bumbo clock, watch a mermaid, a sword, one. She come on. Blood. Alive, Jesus Christ. I wish you gone. Jesus.
Damn. She was gone. Whatever was gone.
So I just got back from Jamaica and I had to share with y'all what one of the locals told me about Flatbridge. Now, if you're not familiar with this bridge, I've done several videos on it, but basically it's this old bridge that was created by the slaves. It's basically in Kingston, and all kinds of mysterious accidents and just creepy things has occurred on this bridge for years. There's no railings. There's been all kinds of crashes, and people believe that it is from the mermaids. So when I was in the airport, I was talking to this woman and she was asking me, how did I enjoy my stay? And, you know, would I come back? And I was like, I absolutely loved it. And she was like, what part would you like to visit next? And I was like, Kingston. I want to go to Flatbridge. Y'all, before I could even say anything, her mouth was like, oh, you don't want to go there. And I was like, why? She was like, this might sound crazy, but there's mermaids there. But of course it didn't sound crazy to me because y'all know I know this. So I'm just like listening to her, like I'm not telling her anything about the stuff that I know. Like she literally just told me this. Like as soon as I said I want to visit Flatbridge in Kingston, she immediately said, no, you're going to be scared. Don't do it. She told me that she grew up in the area, like that is where she's from. Like she has, you know, to cross this bridge every day basically. And she said the feeling is so scary. She said she's heard stories from her mother and her grandparents and her father like for years. She said she's never like actually seen one herself, but she said she like if she could avoid going on this bridge, she would. But she had to cross it to go to school and, you know, do different things. And she told me the only people that can go down there is basically divers. And they won't mess with them because she's heard that they appease them. And then that's when she told me, she was like, we don't really call them mermaids. We call them the river mamas. And she was like, they're not friendly at all. Like you literally have to appease them, bring them sacrifices. But she said every other year there's divers that go down there and they won't mess with them. But she said that feeling is just so frightening going over this bridge. Not even because it has no railings over it. She said that eerie feeling, like you could just tell that it's something there and that we're not supposed to be on it. That's exactly how she worded it. Now, I asked several locals about the mermaids, and a lot of them told me that they have to see it to believe it, but they've heard stories. But I did ask a lot of younger people. I feel like if I would have asked more so of the elders, they would have had more stories and could tell me more. But the people that I did ask were like the younger people, like my tour guide and stuff like that. And they was basically like, you know, they grew up hearing stories, but they never seen it. But I think they was just trying to tell me that. Like my tour guide was literally in shock that I knew all of this stuff about Flatbridge. Like he even told me that I'm Jamaican. He was like, you're not American, you're Jamaican, you need to be a tour guide, because he said he's never like knew an American that knew this much stuff that, you know, was so accurate. But there you have it, y'all. This is coming from a real local that lived near the area. She said that she's always been frightened. Like I said, like she had to cross the bridge every day to get to where she had to go. But she said if she could avoid going there, she would. And she's from the area. But yeah, only divers and people that appease and make sacrifices, you know, come back okay.
You're a Jamaican, man. You need to come to Jamaica and the tour guide.
I need to... He said I need to be a tour guide.
She knows more than me.
I know too much,
bro.
Welcome everybody. So today we're at Flatbridge and we're going in the water with the drone so you can see underneath the water, and we're going to try to find a mermaid. Alright, I'm see if I can get eyes on the wall. Alright, so we have eyes on the wall now. And now I'm going to submerge from this point on. People, so footsteps under the water, you know. What? Footsteps under the water, see there? Footsteps under the water, people. So you know what that means? Go back to you, see? Hold on. To move too fast. If I try going in settings and turn it down. I need to know somebody now. How about that? How about that?
I don't know.
Bomba! Bomba! Come up, quick! Quick! Come on!
I don't know when I'm mermaid.
Yeah. Box cover people. Wanna see that? Wait now, come up. Wait there.
Oh, wait there.
No. Oh, over there, sir. Alright, good.
So wait, so I reach over this so fast.
That more I know. Stop your car there, look a bit there. And stop your car, yeah. If I know when I see that a while ago, and that is something vertical in the water, chilling. The shape, I can't really identify the shape, but yeah. I can't really identify the shape, but as you can see, it's vertical, it stand up vertical in the water, and it in the rightness are chill. I don't know what it is. I'm afraid to even go too close to it, because I know if I go, I know if I actually want Mermaid, as I say. I'm not coming to know their comments now. Yeah. Let me get that mic here, man. Oi! How about that job? Looks. Look good now, man. If you want to see the full video, search on YouTube, Magnet Fishing Jamaica, or the name is right here.
Y'all know, shout out to Jamaica. There's some people who watch all the way from Jamaica who are part of the collective. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Jamaica again. I can't wait to come out there and see what it's like. I don't know if I'm going to Flatbridge. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I can't even begin to tell you what I think that is in the water. I wish he'd have kept it going, but he said go check the full video. Hopefully it's on the full video. Y'all seen his name right there. Run his page up. Go check him out on YouTube, man. If y'all watching me, y'all part of the collective. Y'all, right after this video, go check him out, man. Y'all already on YouTube. I say go run him up. Tell him I sent you. But how y'all feel? Y'all know anything about Flatbridge? Let me know. Y'all got me deep diving today. Like, I appreciate y'all. Y'all send me some fire ass clips all the time. And y'all be teaching me so much. Because I've never heard of this bridge. I'm learning right now. This is dope. Shout out to the collective.
Let's talk about the scariest bridge in Jamaica, also known as Flatbridge. Now, Flatbridge is one of the oldest bridges in Jamaica, and it was built by the slaves in the 18th century. And people believe that the construction was around the 1700s. And several slaves was unalived in the process of building this bridge. And there are all kinds of strange stories about this bridge, y'all. For years, hundreds of people have been unalived on this bridge. There's been cases where people will just be driving on this bridge and just mysteriously just drive into the water because there's no railings. Now here's where the conspiracies and the theories and the legends come in. Some people believe that this bridge is haunted by the Duppies, also known as the ghosts of the former slaves that lost their lives in the process of building this. Some people also believe that some of the slaves was buried underneath this bridge. Another theory is the river mermaids or the river mamas. And some people believe that these river mermaids live in a bottomless hole just below the bridge. And there has been several people who have claimed that they have seen these mermaids, like actually see these creatures, and that they are the reason and causes of these mysterious deaths and just making people like lure them off the road and just doing all these freak accidents. There's also another legend of the golden table, which basically at noon or a certain time of the day, you can see the reflection of a golden table in the water. The story was that basically this river mermaid guarded this golden table, and one of these slave owners got 6 of his strongest slaves and like 24 of his bulls to pull this table from underneath, that they couldn't get it. And it was really out of greed, and all of them lost their lives trying to pull out this golden table. People believe that that's another reason of the weird, situations that go on. But just driving over this bridge, you get eerie feelings. Like, so many people say they close their eyes when they're going over it because it's just that freaky, and you can feel it. Like, it's just an eerie feeling. And rumor has it, when the water turned this nasty green, that means the ghost is about to get to work. Like, they're about to pull somebody in with them. And you'll even have some people go to this river and bring offerings and, try to, make amends with some of the spirits. But in Jamaica, they know not to play when it comes down to this river. Like I said, so many people for years have spotted mermaids and have mermaid sightings and just have seen a lot of mysterious stuff go down at this river. So let me know if y'all want to hear more about Flatbridge in Jamaica.
Jamaica, is this true? I need y'all to verify it.
Let's cross the most haunted bridge in Jamaica. This bridge was made by slaves in the 1770s. Many of the slaves lost their lives while in process of building the bridge. A lot of attempts have been made to place railings, but somehow they never stay. It is said the ghosts as deppies and mermaids are the reason for this. We are in 2023, and there are still no railings.
They said when it get muddy green, it look muddy green there.
What the? What the is that? Am I losing my goddamn mind? What the is that? What the fuck? Where did it go? Okay. No biggie.
Was that? I'm sure that little green light was coming from his phone. But I'ma just say, if whoever's flying that and watching it right now, don't fly that in certain areas in some cities. Take that to the hood of LA, I'm telling you, it's gonna get blown out the sky. You send that to Chicago, it's getting blown out the sky. St. Louis getting blown out the sky. Mississippi, Alabama, it's getting blown. Texas is getting blown out the sky. Like, there's some places it's blowing out the sky, bro. They blowing that out the sky. Like, there's no other way. I mean, we seen what they was doing to the drones at the farm. Y'all remember that clip with the drone coming? He took a stick through it and it fell out the sky. Like, bro, people not going for that in certain areas. But I don't know. It was too dark for me to tell what that exactly was. Y'all let me know in the comments.
No one talking about how in just less than 2 weeks, the official start of hurricane season will be here, and FEMA quietly announced while no one was watching that they don't have plans for aid, relief, and anything to do with it. If you were unaware, June 1st starts the mark of the beginning of hurricane season for the Atlantic region, and FEMA has announced they aren't even really thinking about it. And if you don't know how much FEMA plays a part in hurricane relief, just look back at last year. We're watching what's going on in Louisiana, Kentucky, and even Missouri with this EF4 tornado and how it ripped through people's homes and unalived several individuals around midnight, and they had no idea, should show you that our weather service being cut is having a real impact. FEMA literally admitted, the head of FEMA admitted that its internal meetings, they never had a plan and they don't have a plan for the upcoming hurricane season. These private meetings that are being held at FEMA currently do not have a fully formed disaster relief or response plan. This could be because David Richardson, who previously served as a senior official at the Department of Homeland Security and doesn't have a background in emergency management, told staff he would share a hurricane plan with Homeland Security's Kristi Noem. Still not done with the plan. A lot of people don't believe that hurricane season starts June 1st, but this comes directly from the National Weather Service. As you can see, they have already begun to watch the Atlantic and start mapping out some of these names as well as paths for possible hurricanes or whatever. They're also issuing daily tropical outlooks, which just began on Thursday. If you've ever watched the Hurricane Katrina documentary and saw how President Bush dropped the ball, then you should know, don't wait. Have your own way to get weather alerts. I am going to be on here 24/7, 89 hours a day. Y'all already know how I do hurricane season, but just seeing how a lot of people weren't aware what was going on prior to a lot of my posts last year with Milton, when I accurately predicted multiple hurricanes that were detrimental. I want y'all to know that this year, it's really going to be what comes after the hurricane. It's going to be the relief that is necessary that some may or may not receive.
I think something that I just don't want to happen, just for entertainment purposes, and it won't happen. But some I don't want this to happen at all. Y'all remember how we was discussing the earthquakes? How I said it's possible that there's multiple fault lines, and there's a possibility because everybody in different places now have felt tremors, earthquakes, all types of shit. And some of y'all have said we don't get those, and we got one just recently. I just don't want the earthquakes to cause a domino effect. Everybody gets affected with the earthquakes, and then we see after the earthquakes start, we get hit with tsunamis. Just, y'all get what I mean. Like, they just hit the up switch on everything and everybody's screwed. Y'all get what I mean, man. And then they running into bunkers and they hiding, and I just don't want nothing like that to happen. We getting earthquakes and tsunamis on the west. Who knows? The Midwest getting hit with earthquakes and tornadoes, and then you got the South getting hit with hurricanes, and y'all get the point. And then what they call that, a reset, right? I'm hoping that ain't the case. I'm hoping. And that's why I don't want everybody to get hit with some shit at once and it's all just going up. That's going to be a wild ass day. And I heard you can't even go get a bunker. You can't even go buy a bunker. If you have land, you can't even make the bunker yourself. You got to go get clearance for that. It's wild, bro, how they got so much control. So y'all let me know, man.
Why are there so many churches? And why are we doing so badly as black people, as a group, despite the extreme number of churches? And do you think that there is a correlation between our high praise and our low productivity?
Now let me see. This is a very challenging question.
Why is that a challenging question? Martin Luther King III? The church, huh? Message. But don't worry. Jesus is going to save you. Waiting for the man in the clouds still?
Oh, shit!
When I say I was just in this shit, y'all, west side, man. I'm talking about tornado just.
Well, here's Redbud, y'all. We got hit pretty bad. All the trees, cars, people's roofs. all this damage.
Prayers to anybody affected, man. I know I'm not the only one who saw that.
Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, you know what, bring her by. And when she walked in the office, I was like, you know, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, you know, it was just something about it. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay, okay. Then, you know, we sat down and we talked.
And so we signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office, really. The 3 in the morning was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 in the morning.
Wow.
That day, I was absolutely certain.
How often does that happen? I mean, that's
not often.
That's unheard of, right?
That's not, yeah.
Bro, I'm hearing that. I'm like, wait. How often? That don't happen at all. Oh, man, that's crazy work. Y'all know what that mean, right? Like, bro, that mean is everything we always be saying. That shit most of the time is facts. I feel bad that they put Rihanna through something like that, but I hope that she, I shouldn't hope this, but it looks better on her if it was forced rather than by choice. That's damn. He just sat up there and said when I seen her it was something about her. I don't know, it was something about her. This for entertainment purposes. Yeah, we met at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, got the deal by 3 a.m. If I'm not mistaken, was she underage at that point?
Alright, y'all, so yesterday I was on live and I was doing a cooking video. I was cooking on live, and in the middle of me talking about what I was cooking, I started getting downloads. And when I started talking about my downloads, my live started getting flagged for branded content, even though I wasn't promoting anything. I didn't have any branded content whatsoever. So I was just going to let it go. I got off live and I was going to let it go. But I was sitting here trying to get some work done, and I started having those thoughts again. So a lot of people right now are on their fitness journey, on their health journey. But y'all, I feel like it's deeper than physical fitness. Yeah, I know you want a snatched waist and a big old booty, your Coke bottle shape, whatever. It's deeper than that. You need to be physically and mentally strong right now. So the downloads I was getting was protect your energy. Don't put yourself in spaces that shift your mood too much, put you in negative mindsets, negative headspace, even the content that you consume, right? That puts you in that low vibrational anger state. That is where the enemy likes to get us. You need to surround yourself with people and situations that keep you uplifted. If there are people in your life that are constantly draining your battery and they're not doing anything to recharge you, it's not reciprocated, the energy is not evenly exchanged, you need to keep yourself away from them. Also, heavy metal detox is priority right now. Get the metals out of your body. Get the metals out of your body. There's a reason why you've been craving a detox, a parasitic cleanse. There's a reason for that, because your higher self is trying to prepare this physical body for the shift that's happening right now. You need to listen. If you're saying this is not for no reason, listen. Detox your body. Get physically fit. I'm not talking about, oh, sexy. I'm talking about strong. You need to make sure you are strong. I don't care how skinny or big you are. You need to be able to lift and walk for a long time. You need to have that physical endurance, okay? You need to know how to run, all this stuff. Your body needs to be in tip-top shape. And skinny does not mean fit. So just because you are heavier set, that does not mean you can't learn how to run. That does not mean you can't get stronger. You can't build your stamina or endurance. And if you feel like that is an issue, Try to actively get some of that weight off of you. Put good things into your body. Stop consuming so much negative things. If you are addicted to your phone, go outside and touch some grass. Go outside barefoot and touch some grass. We're about to get some storms in the next week. I'm going to be outside in the rain, barefoot, probably naked. Something is going on. We need to be ready, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Get connected to Source. Get connected to God. Yahuwah did not put you here for no reason, and you did not reincarnate in this time right now for no reason. It's almost time. You know what I mean. That's it. Love y'all. Bye.
I needed that message. I needed that.
Musk unalived 27 people this weekend. No, that's not an exaggeration. Actions that Elon Musk took directly led to the deaths of 27 people over the past weekend. Destructive tornadoes that touched down in both St. Louis City and in Somerset, Kentucky, led to the deaths of 27 people because there was no advance warning of these tornadoes. In a country that normally has the most advanced early warning tornado system in the world, I want you to guess why that is. It's because earlier this year, the Department of Government Efficiency that Elon Musk was the head of, at his direction, completely slashed the funding for early warning tornado systems in the United States. The NOAA has come out and confirmed that the reason they were not able to get warning about these tornadoes out earlier is because Doge slashed their budget. Which means that Elon Musk, who was the head of Doge, and Donald Trump, who created Doge, are directly responsible for the deaths of 27 Americans because they decided a tax cut for their billionaire buddies was more important than emergency weather warning systems. This will continue to happen because the funding for those emergency weather warning systems has not been restored, which means this is going to happen more places in the United States, and people are not going to get the warnings they need to save their lives before the tornado is already on top of them.
Y'all see this? This is crazy if it's true, all right? But we in the age of Aquarius, so everything's coming to light, all right? And we know a lot of these individuals, these celebrities as well as politicians, are child traffickers and pedophiles. We know that, all right? They don't like when I say that and speak bluntly like that, but it's true, right? But this is insane. Now, some may allege that the actual Hillary Clinton was unalive around 2019 at Gitmo, along with the original Joe Biden before the cloning and all of that nature. You feel me? Some allege that. Okay, I'm not saying it's true, but some allege that a lot of these celebrities as well as politicians have clones, and some allege that even this individual actually somewhere in an underground subterranean base, and they're parading this clone around as if it's him. All right, when a lot of these deletes and a lot of these celebrities are actually relocated and placed underground. Don't believe everything you see.
That was big facts right there.
What's up? Mexican mycologist here. So, welcome back to part 2 of eating the mushrooms that I grow out of trash. You guys seem to like the first one, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a second one. So if you remember the first one, I ate mushrooms out of the top, but this McDonald's fry container, for some reason the mushrooms only grew on the outside. I don't know why, but it's pretty cool in my opinion. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Which one? Oh, this one's looking real nice, boys. It bruises blue, if you know what that means, but I mean, like, there it is. There it is.
I ain't seen a clip that just hurt my stomach from watching since we saw old girl eating the water bugs. Tell me y'all remember that, bro. I remember when y'all sent me that clip and I actually brung that one out. Y'all went crazy in the comments. I was like, bro, she ate a bug. Like, I can't believe this man just kept McDonald's for that long. It got mushrooms hanging out of it. And this man ate it. Somebody say a prayer for bro. Oh, I hope he good. If he said this part 2, that means he did this shit before. Did y'all see the inside of that thing, bro? It was black. Man, hell nah. The world is beyond me sometimes. Better him than me, I guess, man. I ain't gonna judge. I'ma just accept it how he is. Hey, y'all let me know y'all thoughts. That shit's crazy. How I feel about the clip before that about Hillary. That's a crazy topic. That's a dive of a rabbit hole right there. That shit deep.
Ay, hijo de... Güey, qué pedo.
Now, just for context, the person recording this was visiting this museum after his father came here a few days ago. His dad told him that there was something off about this place. He doesn't know why, but the exhibition that's dedicated to a woman known as Maria Sabina creeps him out. Whether it's because her wax statue looks a little too real, or her history with witchcraft, the whole exhibition scares him. But after watching this video that his son took, there's no way that he's coming back to this place now. The following is what his son captured at the exhibition of Maria Sabina. Have a look.
Damn, I know y'all saw that.
And how easy.
What was that?
I wouldn't have been asking shit about what that is. You know what that is, I know what that is, and I know what it's time to do. Spam up y'all thoughts. Spam up what you was doing next if he do some shit like that. Bro, I feel like he knew what he was doing. And orange ain't my best color, but I think that's what we gonna end up wearing at the end of that night. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and opinions. And that's, I vibrate high, but come on, bro. You know he was gonna take one on me like that. You knew he was gonna drop one, bro. You knew that when you squished him like that. He knew. He knew. And if he didn't, I'm gonna assume that he knew. And we just gonna take it from there. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts. The clip before that, I know y'all saw that face move. Bro, it looked like her face, like her, I don't know. That shit moved though. That's all I know.
Check out this freaky thing! Sitting on the edge of a cliff! What the heck was that?
Yeah, I remember that clip.
Hey, what the f is that?
Damn.
Y'all, this is the craziest thing I've heard all week. So a freaking pirate ship just crashed into Brooklyn Bridge. Yes, y'all, Brooklyn Bridge. Isn't that a song? No, that's London Bridge. But nonetheless, what just took place in Kentucky, London, Kentucky as well, now we know the real reason why the National Guard was setting up in Kentucky, because what just took place. Now, as you can see here, this ship is literally running into the bridge, and I don't know if it's the rise of sea level that caused this, because we already know climate change that's happening all over the world. But nonetheless, y'all, there were men on top of this mast, y'all. Check this out. So like I said, I don't know whose idea it was to drive the ship into the bridge, because now you can see the sailors hanging on to the mast for dear life, or what's left of it, y'all. But why isn't nobody doing anything? Nobody's yelling, nobody's saying anything. Like, everybody's just looking on. Like, what is this about, y'all?
Holy crap.
So now, yeah, so I don't know what this pirate ship is doing in Brooklyn, but it looks like they were accompanied by the Navy. Here's the ship over here, y'all, cruising to the side of it. So obviously they knew what was, what's going to happen. What is a pirate ship doing in Brooklyn Bridge anyway, y'all? But things are getting weird, just like we told y'all, man. So much happening around the planet, just more distraction. But just like we told y'all, man, the shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
I ain't never seen a pirate ship look that fancy, bro. That thing looked fancy. I laugh because I've been hearing about this clip. I seen in the comments, y'all like, bro, you need to cover the clips with the you need to cover the pirate ships. And I'm like, pirate ships? What? Like, and I seen it a couple times, so I'm glad it finally came across. But yeah, that's weird. Why would the Navy be like right there too? I don't know. Why they hanging from the thing? I got so many questions.
This is crazy. Guys, this is crazy. Does anybody know what's happening? Do you guys know? Holy crap. Holy crap, it's like a light show. It's all over the place. This is out of control. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. All the stars moving. This is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing!
I'm like, yo, come get me, bro. Get me up out of here.
Broadway. That's just the address.
Have y'all seen what happens at the airport now if you do not have the real ID, the new license? This is totally dystopian. So first, when Resilient LA got to the airport, the first thing they did when they found out she did not have it was they took her and moved her to the side for like 10 to 15 minutes for everybody to see. So basically, act like you are some sort of criminal or something and separate you. Look how subliminal this is. They give them a red sheet of paper, red of all colors, talking about how they are non-compliant. Think about modern day schools, how they mimic modern day prisons, even like getting in line and doing certain things. It's all subliminal. And then the swabbing of the hands, almost like frisking, like again, like you have been pulled aside and dehumanized by the system that you are not going to walk with. The craziest part is this, not only did the whole ordeal take like an hour, they also swiped her phone the same way they swiped her hands. Just think for a minute of what kind of technology they could have and what they could be getting from the phone. I guarantee there's more going on than meets the eye. Get with the system or we will alienate you and make you so uncomfortable to the point where you just get with whatever we say.
The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities. And with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy.
I went to a seminar about death.
Okay, you have to tell me. You're
Oh
just
my
telling
God.
me this now.
I know, yeah.
Please share, please share. Why?
I have a friend.
Why were you there? And what did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies and that, you know, it's just an experience in the physical form and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls and that we continue and continue and continue.
Never ain't know what type of monster he was. Lauren? No, I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff. Oh, got you. I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, you know, we was at Cassie's birthday.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Nip had no ego. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. You know, I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, you know what I mean, like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album. Victory Lap. Yeah, Victory Lap.
Diddy's team just leaked tapes of Lauren London, and it's wild. And the talk of Lauren having a hand in Nipsey Hussle's death. Allegedly, she snitched on Nipsey, her baby daddy. Word on the street is, this whole thing might have been a setup from the start, and now the truth's starting to surface. Now, if you've been paying attention to the speculations floating around Hollywood lately, then this ain't news to you. There's been talk of some wild tapes floating and being shopped around, allegedly showing multiple big-name celebrities caught up in Diddy's dark side.
Rest in peace to my guy Nip.
Before I woke up in this matrix, I kept hearing people say that we will have the mark of the beast and there will be a chip or a mark on our hand. Some people believe it will be on our forehead, but I believe it's already in our hand. It's in our hand. So many people sitting around waiting for
the chip to look like this? What if I told you we already have the mark of the beast and it's already in my hand as I make this video? Yes, the chip or the mark of the beast is our cell phone. You ever ask yourself, why do we have to have a two-way security with everything? They don't want to send you an email. They want to call you or send you a text. What, an email is not good enough? Nah, that's because they want everyone to have a cell phone. All you have to do is look at the first 4 letters in cell phone. You get cell. When you get locked up, they put you in a prison cell. That's right. You have so many people that's obsessed with taking selfies, but they don't even realize that their selfies is just a mugshot. People keep saying 666. 666 is the mark of the beast. 666 is not the mark of the beast. These devices we hold in our hand is the mark of the beast. They give us these fancy cameras so we could think that we are doing something. No, they are just watching us. They give us these fancy ass speakers. No, they are just listening to us. You ever find yourself sitting back just minding your business, having random thoughts? Then you pick up your cell phone and your thoughts is now inside of the cell phone. Before you Google something, it's already there waiting for you. They said that there will be a time where you won't be able to buy or sell without the chip. Last time I checked, on our cell phones, we buy and we sell almost everything. Shit is getting to the point where people don't even want to go outside. They just can shop and buy off their cell phones. You ever see how people act when the new cell phone come out? You ever see how people act if they drop and break their cell phone? Shit. You ever see how children react if their parents take away their cell phone? I even heard stories of children their parents just because they took away their cell phone. But the real question we need to be asking ourselves is, why any of this? Why the mark of the beast? Why they want to track us? Why they want to listen to everything we speak about? That's because the Matrix is really a prison. They need to watch and monitor certain spirits. Because if you spiritually wake up, they know who you are. If you don't want to wake up, they know who you are. The only thing we had left that was sacred was our thoughts. Now our thoughts is no longer sacred. No more secret. Our thoughts is leaking all over the internet. If they can track everything you do, they will know your next step before you know your next step. Just remember that the Matrix want to replace the universe. The universe is everywhere all the time. It knows everything we do. So the Matrix want to copy and paste the universe and watch everything we do. This is real easy right here. Why do you think they call it the iPhone? Why do you think Siri is Iris backwards? Check out my ebook.
I seen a comment just recently. Somebody said they think that the Anunnakis the fallen angels. That's perfectly fine. But my question was, what do you call the people that be on the dark web hurting children? What do you call the 1% who making laws that hurts the public? What do you call the 1% who's doing all the stuff we get to see them doing? What do you call those people? So you gonna call something like that you heard a fallen angel demonic, but you not gonna call what you see harming people, doing the most wildest shit to humanity, to the world, to nature? You gonna let them off the hook? What you call them? What do you call them? It makes me just laugh when I see people say that you actually gonna get a mark on your hand, as if the phones ain't a distraction or ain't a tool that's used for bad as well. It can be used for good, but as if it don't read your thoughts. What do you call that? And then it makes me think, like, you know what? If I was one of those people who was doing wrong to people, it'd be so easy to mislead. It would. All you got to do is give people what they want to know or what they want to hear. This shit's crazy, bro. This shit's crazy how like, sometimes we don't vibrate on the same frequency. We got some people who think one way. We got some people who think another. But all we need is everybody to think one way for a hot second to flip the switch. That's all we need. And it's like sometimes that shit don't even, it goes in one ear and out the other because people so attached to what they believe. Instead of just being open-minded, which is the journey we on. It's the journey we on, is to be open-minded. So when you see people just one way in thinking, but they think they so tapped in and locked in, it's like, come on, bro, you slowing us up as a group. We only as strong as our weakest link. Straight up. That's the best way you could put it, bro. That's the best way you could put it. But that shit's crazy. But I respect it. If anybody thinks otherwise, I respect it. It's all love. We still family, man. Sometimes that's how family is. Your family member don't see it from your perspective, and you don't see it from your family's perspective. But y'all gotta ride together through the shit when it get tough. It's the best way I could put it.
This Sunday after he took a picture of another person's boarding pass and used it to board a different flight after he missed his flight that morning. Now, he initially got through security by using his ticket from earlier in the day that he missed, and then he was able to board the plane using the picture he got of another passenger's ticket. Then when he got on the plane, because he didn't have a seat, he hid in the bathroom at the front of the plane. So as the plane was pulling away from the gate, one of the flight attendants knocked on the door and said, "Hey, you need to find your seat before we take off." But after he noticed the entire flight was full with no empty seats, he walked to the back of the plane and got in that bathroom. But once again, the flight attendants knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we cannot take off until everybody is back in their seats." So he picked a random seat number and said that it was his. So when the flight attendants took him there and noticed someone else was sitting in his seat, they asked to see his ticket, to which he couldn't give them. So they looked up his name, saw that he didn't have a ticket. They pulled back up to the gate, called the police, to which they had everyone get off the plane, and they personally arrested him and escorted him out of the airport. Now, I'm glad he got arrested for this, but I think one of the saddest parts is he personally talked to the people who he stole the ticket from, shook their hand before using their ticket to board the plane. So I guess this goes to show that no good deed goes unpunished. That's my opinion. What do y'all think?
Damn, the dude next to him watched him take the picture.
Leave it. But Spain just experienced another nationwide cell phone and internet power outage, and not too many people are talking about it. The only reason why I know about it is because I was on a YouTube live and people were talking about the network is currently down in Spain.
20th, 2025, Spain was hit by a major telecommunications blackout due to a network update by Telefonica. The outage disrupted landline phone and internet services across several regions, including emergency numbers. Mobile networks remained mostly unaffected, and services were largely restored by the afternoon.
What's going on in Spain, man? First the blackouts, now apparently mobile network is all out. I don't know, man. I think they're using Spain as a test or something. Of course, we've all seen the Terminator franchise, yeah? The third one, Rise of the Machines. Before the nukes go off, yeah? The networks go down. Did you notice that?
Something big is brewing in that general area, y'all. Like, that's crazy. Twice in less than 1 month, y'all. And why Spain? You gotta ask yourself. We talked about this before, you know what I'm saying? Because this was the head honcho, you know, in the enslavement of the indigenous. But I don't know, man. You think the universe is making an example out of them? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The shit is here, like we told y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Shit, maybe.
If you've ever wondered how mud could completely cover and erase the whole entire earth, then watch this video. Of course, you should know by now that all over the world we see the same thing, stories of building under the dirt. And I hear the same question all the time. How is that possible? How could all that mud come randomly and erase everything? I'll show you in 1 second. But just so we're aware, it wasn't just mud. It was crazy earthquakes happening all over the earth, like San Francisco, when it was wiped off the map. A very fervent heat, wonder where it came from, and again, earthquakes just destroying everything. Even melting Egyptian statues. That fire had to have been awfully hot to straight up melt granite and other types of rock. But we're not talking about this part of the Earth's destruction. How could mud bury everything? Do you know how fast, how crazy, how violent mudslides can be? This was in California in 2022. Like, if that went on for like another hour or two, everything would be covered. It would only take 1 split second for everything to change, and just a few generations for everybody to forget what had just happened. And it's about that time again.
I asked y'all, man, with the earthquakes.
Verga, otra bola en el cielo, otra bola en el cielo. Ahí está. Y estamos en Guadalajara. Son más o menos las 5 de la tarde. Aquí en Zapopan. Se fue. Ben,
why are you getting arrested?
Move down the hallway. Poor kid by buying and pays for it by kicking kids off Medicaid in the U.S. Keep going down. Keep going down the hallway. They need to let food. They need to let food to starving kids.
What did you say in there, man?
I said that Congress is paying to poor kids and paying for it by kicking poor kids off Medicaid in the U.S.
Don't let them any closer. Back.
Stop. Everybody.
Damn, that was freedom of speech getting taken from him, it sounded like to me.
Is this a moon portal, or I saved this clip a while ago for a video on cosmic fish that I did. This is the clip. I was clearing out my phone and I adjusted the settings, and look at what happens. And if you don't think we're under the waters above from the Bible, you can literally see waves of water going over the moon in like every telescope video. Look in the craters, you can see the water bubbling up in them and blinking. This is what stars actually look like in telescopes. You can tell they're definitely underwater. And look at these stars all around floating. This is bioluminescent water. I just don't know what to say anymore.
I know my Glover's got a comeback though.
There's a threshold of intelligence where the brain starts breaking its own rules. In classified DARPA research from the early 2000s, subjects with exceptionally high cognitive pattern recognition began displaying something that they called functional detachment. Not psychosis, but cognitive overload so intense that they began to withdraw from reality. Officially, they called it data poison. You see every flaw in a system, every loop in a conversation, every lie hidden in language, your brain stops trusting the script. You don't get smarter, you get disoriented because your reality starts to fracture faster than it can stabilize. High IQ individuals can simulate multiple outcomes at once, but society rewards certainty, not parallel thinking. So they shut down, or worse, they disappear. In one off-the-record military neurocognitive trial, subjects were asked to simulate conversation, or better yet, social interaction. After 48 hours of continuous processing, subjects refused to talk. They just refused to speak. Not because they were traumatized, but because they calculated that most conversations had zero statistical value. This wasn't autism or mental illness, it was hyperlogic, and this made them incompatible with common culture. They weren't broken, they were just out of sync with the simulation. They were running on a level of consciousness and human intelligence that society doesn't support. And when the system couldn't keep up, they just labeled them as insane, just to protect itself. It didn't malfunction, they saw too much, too clearly. When they stopped playing along, the system deleted their profile.
If we're in a room and there's a cupcake on the table, right? And I scrape the icing off that cupcake and hand it to you. Is it a cupcake or is it a muffin? Don't move. Cupcake or muffin? You got your answer? Okay. Now, you watch me take the frosting off the cupcake that was there. And then I handed it to you and asked you if it was a cupcake or a muffin. You're confused. You're preemie. Why are you asking? I just watched you take the frosting off. Now, if I did this where you couldn't see me, I was in my kitchen now, and I take the frosting off all the cupcakes and I come out and say, hey, you want a muffin? Is it a cupcake or a muffin? You're not, okay. Things specify what things are. When you see a little cake wrapped up with frosting on top, you assume it's a cupcake. If you saw the same thing without the frosting on top, you might assume it's a muffin. But if you don't know no better, it is what I tell you it is. It is what I tell you it is. Okay? If I go to my kitchen where you can't see me, and I put frosting on a muffin, and I hand it to you and say, hey, this is a cupcake. It doesn't matter what you see, what it tastes like. It looks like a cupcake. I'm telling you it's a cupcake. You have two choices. You either believe me or you stay lost. Because I have all the vital information. I know that it was a muffin that I put frosting on. You don't. You have no vital information. You have no proof that I put frosting on that muffin and called it a cupcake. Listen, okay? If there's a cupcake and I take the frosting off the top, is it still a cupcake or is it now a muffin? It looks like a muffin. Feels like a muffin. Is it a muffin now? If I have a muffin and I put frosting on top, Is it a cupcake? It looks like a cupcake, feels like a cupcake, tastes like a cupcake. Now, if I did these same things where you could not see me do them, and I asked you these same questions, what are they? You don't know. Because it is what I tell you it is. Okay? It's exactly what I tell you it is, because you're missing the vital information that makes it what it is. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't, stay out of trouble.
Look, man, I ain't gonna lie. I mess with cupcakes heavy, and I mess with muffins heavy. Let's just put it in the 1%. So let's say the 1% is giving you something, and it says a muffin, and then it says it says a cupcake. But if they take the icing off, then it's supposed to be a muffin. I think the 1% do. Let's just, just the general statement that he's making. I think the 1% does do that. I know the 1% does that. Just for entertainment purposes. Y'all let me know. And just what the 1% does is just what he was doing when he keep going back and forth over this shit. I don't care if it's a muffin or a cupcake, bro. I need it. Take it. I'm taking it, bro. I need all of that. So you can't play with my head no more. And that's where anybody who's getting frustrated, that's how I feel about the 1%. Y'all let me know if that's a reach, man. I like how you put it, but he gonna have to use something different. Because he using that, bro, it's gonna make me like, wait. That shit was making me kind of hungry. I'm not gonna lie. Because then he's showing a picture of it. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm recording this right now, so I can't eat. Some of y'all probably eating while y'all watch this. So that shit makes it even worse for me. So, but yeah. Let me know y'all thoughts, man.
The people who were after all of the Ancestry DNA and they were able to either purchase or it was uploaded to the black web, the information of people's origins, they thought they were looking for a specific bloodline. That was never going to be the case because it was too easy. It was never about ancestral lines. We are experiencing an awakening of dormant DNA. However, it does not run in bloodlines. They were always looking for a bloodline. And the only ones who have this specific DNA that they are looking for are the people who have awakened. It was dormant up until around last year when the flares really started activating. And that's why they keep trying to block the sun. And that's why the ancestry data was so significant, because they were on the hunt for a bloodline, a prophesized bloodline, not realizing that it was never about a bloodline. It was about the dormant DNA that all of us have, but only some of us were able to awaken. And the only way that they'd be able to get the information about these specific types of DNA that are waking up is by having access to the people who have woken up. They would need to test their DNA specifically. And if you're someone who has reached that frequency to where your DNA was unlocked, you're likely not someone who would be taking an Ancestry DNA kit.
If you look younger than your age, this is what it means. Fam, it's not about your skin, it's about your spirit. Psychology says people who appear younger often carry something deeper. A resilience of heart and a lightness of being that time can't touch. You've been through storms, but you didn't let them make you bitter. You cried in silence, but you still found reasons to smile. And that quiet strength chosen ones radiate. Because looking younger isn't about avoiding years. It's about how you live them. So you chose peace over drama, growth over grudges, healing over harm. And the body reflects the soul it carries. Studies in psychology link youthful appearances to lower stress levels, emotional intelligence, and a deep ability to let go of what no longer serves you. So you learn how to protect your energy, to walk away without resentment, how to speak with kindness even when it hurts. And that inner calm chosen ones softens your face. So maybe you laugh more than most, or maybe you dream like someone much younger, or maybe you never simply gave up on joy, even when life gave you every reason to. Because understand this, real youth isn't measured in years. It's written in how you love, how you forgive, how you start over. More of the story, fam, if people tell you you don't look your age, don't just say thank you. know that what they really seeing is the light you kept alive. Follow me for more updates.
Damn, I ain't think of it from that perspective.
Landlords in Venezuela are no longer charging rent. Why is that, you ask? Well, money is irrelevant there. And now they are helping each other out in the community, using their skills and the animals that they have to share their food. Wow. It's as if money never meant anything in the first place, and that it never existed. We gave it value. Wow.
Y'all want to try that here in the States? Just asking.
Part 2, the 7 countries that waged war on us. Let's break it down. 7 countries came at us at the same time from all angles. This wasn't discovery. This was coordinated warfare. They came through Alaska, taking land and resources and calling it Russian America until the U.S. bought it in 1867, but it was already ours. The Dutch set up in parts of Canada and the Northeast, naming it New Netherland, later taken over and renamed New York. 2 entities, England and Great Britain, moved in heavy on both the East and West coasts. They didn't come peacefully. They used force, fake treaties, and law to strip titles and families. Italy moved quietly through Texas, up to the Gulf. You don't hear about it, but old land records and church connections expose that influence. France ran New Orleans, the Mississippi River, and much of the interior. The Louisiana Purchase wasn't land France discovered. It was land they took from us and sold back. Spain came in through the West Coast, down into Argentina and Chile, and snaked their way back up. From California to Florida, Spanish missions were invasion outposts. Spain came in through the West Coast, down into Argentina and Chile, and snaked their way back up. From California to Florida, Spanish missions were invasion outposts. They flipped the script, rewrote the history, and told you that you're from somewhere else. But we're waking up now. If they needed 7 countries to beat us, what does that say about who we really are? Please like, subscribe, and share. Give me all this opinion.
If it took 7 countries, they mean they weak as hell.
One of the reasons I will never forgive this country is I remember going to get a letter of recommendation from the president of my college university for law school, and we were discussing my reasons for wanting to go to law school, and he asked me, he said, hey, do you know how prisons and jails determine how many cells to make for future inmates? And I said, no. Like, my best guess was to look at how many people were in poverty and go off of that number. And he said, close. They look at all the children in 3rd grade in that area, and every child that is reading below the 3rd grade level, there's a cell waiting for them. Fun fact.
Well, I challenge everybody watching this right now. Let's make sure the kids learn how to read. Don't pack the jails, they go out of business.
Everything changed for me when I understood this philosophy. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's the simple philosophy that changed my life forever, starting age 25. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fine. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, which is super fine. I didn't mind working hard on my job, but things didn't seem to change that much. Then I started working hard on myself to qualify. So let me put it in a philosophical phrase now. This is worth the price of whatever it costs for you to be here today. Here it is. Success is something you attract. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by becoming attractive. And the whole scope of this we call now personal development. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. If you can multiply your value by 3, by 5, you can easily multiply your income by 3, by 5, by 10. But the key to doing it is to work hard on yourself. Be responsible, be a growing, attractive, powerful, skillful, communicating human being, and the world belongs to you.
Damn. Facts.
I have some disturbing news. If you want to hear it, sit through this. If not, it's okay if you leave. I don't know if you guys watched a video that I put out maybe last week about a dream that I had where I saw it looked like the grid was either resetting itself or falling. And now, because I have this ability where I can hear or feel plants and animals and like everything that's living. I'm connected to it. So I hear the plants telling me that the weather is about to become really, really unpredictable. Like I know that I think a tornado just hit St. Louis, North St. Louis, and the plants are like I'm watching them. Hold on, let me show you guys real quick. See, they're right here, and I'm sitting in my car, and they didn't tone down a lot now that I'm showing you guys. But it's like the wind. Okay, they're starting to talk again. You see? Now, where you guys may just see that as wind, that's communication to me. So that's communication to me because the wind is passing through the leaves of the tree and sending out a frequency. So please pay attention. Also, somewhere is a massive portal open. I'm trying to feel where it's a matter. Dakota, something about Dakota, North Dakota, South Dakota. It's a massive portal open, but kind of like in the middle of nowhere, where it's not going to be noticeable. So pay attention to whatever's coming out of North Dakota and South Dakota. But the weather is about to become really, really crazy, and it's a huge portal open. So if y'all are spiritually awake and spiritually in tune with this, tell me if you agree.
If y'all feel her, tell her if y'all agree. Y'all was sending them, man. I appreciate y'all. Like I always say, I love y'all collective. Y'all be coming with the heat, and y'all be sending me down different rabbit holes. Like I said, I love y'all, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. But I know y'all hate this part. We made it to the end of this, and if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7, and this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But until I see y'all in the next one, y'all know what it is, man. We gone.
Ay, yeah. I just check my account. Sheesh, at the amount. You